Hello, everyone. I am really excited to share my lesson plan specifically because it is designed for English learners or emergent bilingual students. The BIM, or I should say, the template that I did for my lesson plan was the BIM, which is a basic instructional model for bilingual students. So we specifically have a content and language objective. So with that being said, the topic is going to be healthy and unhealthy relationships. Students will read an article to explore the differences between those through the reciprocal teaching rules. So why this is important, I kind of mentioned it during our in my presentation, but really just to focus on exploring the essential question, which of my relationships are unhealthy and which are healthy. Students really reflecting on their own lives to be able to distinguish and make smart decisions about people who can have a really big impact on them. With that being said, the standards for this lesson is going to be my ELD standard is going to be for 11th grade students. It's going to be part one, and it's going to be about expanding. So students are in an expanding level of language. So they are going to exchange ideas, information ideas, collaborate to class, group, or partner discussions, sustaining conversations on a variety of age and grade appropriate academic topics by the following turn-taking rules: asking and answering relevant on-topic questions, affirming others, providing additional and relevant information, and perhaps and paraphrasing key ideas. So specifically, our health standards is going to be 1.3. So it's going to be about discussing the characteristics of healthy relationships, dating, committed relationships, and marriage. Specifically, focusing on this first part. And academic language demands. So students are going to be using a lot of language to read, write, and speak. So they will be participating in reciprocal teaching, which I will show you what this is in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and go down towards our language functions. So students will be able to analyze a reading passage through their roles via summarizing, questioning, predicting, and clarifying using optional sentence starters. So they're going to be provided with a lot of scaffolds like cognates or cognados when it is appropriate, providing key terms in students L1. So when students are going to be provided with those key terms in L1 when appropriate. Again, not focusing away from the target language without purpose, I should say. Sentence starters, they will have a lot of modeling on how to do their rules. They will be able to brainstorm in their L1 or L2 for my specific group of classes can be English and Spanish. They'll be in bilingual groups, and there will be a lot of enunciation throughout the lesson. So during the instructions part. So the content objectives, students will be able to synthesize information from an article to respond to the essential question with at least one reason to back up their position. After participating in reciprocal teaching, that is differentiating healthy versus unhealthy relationships. And then language objective for students will be able to create questions in the target language to dialogue with peers using sentence starters through reciprocal teaching rules. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to skip down to our procedures. So they're going to do our warm-up. Their warm-up is going to consist of an essential question. So they are going to answer the essential question, which is writing a sentence on someone who has been a good friend to them. They'll also write down their ideal friend. So what kind of characteristics their ideal friend has. So I will kind of get them brainstorming about what a good relationship or healthy relationship looks like. Now, to begin the activity portion of this sequence, we are going to introduce reciprocal teaching rules. So first, they are going to prompt students to move their desks into a U shape, into groups of 4, and then the students are going to be distributed the material. So they have bookmarks, they have handouts, all of these materials, and they were going to be told to ask for the essential question. So then from then on, they are going, which is again, they will turn to the partner and explain what they think healthy and unhealthy relationships look like. So before we get into it, we're going to be brainstorming. And then lastly, they are going to get into the reciprocal teaching roles. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what those are. So this reciprocal teaching is a really great strategy for English learners and for all learners to meet the needs of all of our learners. But they have a reading task card uh, role, which is either the questioner, the summarizer, the clarifier, or the predictor. And they have these really neat bookmarks. The ones that I really like to use with my students are these bookmarks that and that way the students know what they are going to be doing, and they have some sentence starters and scaffolds to refer to as they fill out their roles. And then students will fill out their roles on this handout, um, being able to summarize. So once they read, let's say, a certain section, there's a student who has a clarifying question, like, I don't know what this word means. They stop, and then everyone talks about their role, and they really have that back and forth communication with each other about that reading. And the one that I really, really like, the role I really like, that prompts a lot of discussion, is asking questions. So students will ask question about reading, about anything that was related to reading, but these questions are open-ended, so it sparks really, really interesting conversations. And for the closing activity at the end, they are finally going to complete the exit ticket, and they're going to answer their essential question on a exit slip. So, what is an example of an unhealthy relationship? Have you noticed any of these signs in your relationships? So, again, students really need to be aware of what these type of relationships to look like, what are be able to reflect on what the relationships are, whether they're healthy and unhealthy. So, I really want to make this confidential writing activity so that they have someone to speak to during right away during the lesson. So I will be able to be a resource to the students who might not be in a healthy relationship at this point of their life. But other than that, I hope you guys found this resource and lesson really useful. I will link this activity and resource to in our post. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.